There are 7 silent attraction ruiners that men over 50 unknowingly commit every single day. And the cruel truth? Most women won't tell you what you're doing wrong. They'll just quietly lose interest and walk away. You might think age gives you wisdom, but if you're making these mistakes, you're sabotaging every chance at connection, respect, and yes, even romance. Today, we're exposing the 7 deadly sins of mature masculinity that are costing you more than you realize. But here's the good news. Every single one of these can be fixed, starting today. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's been working against you and how to turn it around. Before we dive in, I need you to do 3 things. First, hit that subscribe button. This channel is dedicated to helping men like us navigate life after 50 with dignity and strength. Second, give this video a like if you're ready to make some changes. And third, drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from. I love connecting with men from all over the world who are committed to living their best years. The first mistake is the most obvious, yet most ignored. Letting your appearance broadcast that you've surrendered to age. I'm talking about the stretched-out t-shirts, the jeans that haven't fit properly in 5 years, the shoes that look like they've been through a war zone. Here's what you need to understand. Your appearance is your first language. Before you say a word, your clothes are already telling a story. And if that story is, "I don't care about myself," why should anyone else care about you? When your appearance broadcasts neglect, you're telling the world that you've given up on yourself. And if you don't value yourself enough to make an effort, why should anyone else value you? This isn't about expensive designer clothes or looking like a magazine model. This is about basic respect. Respect for yourself and respect for the people you encounter. When you show up looking like you've surrendered to entropy, you're communicating that you've mentally checked out of life. Think about it this way. Every piece of clothing you put on is a choice. Every morning, you decide whether to present yourself as a man who still believes he matters or as someone who's given up the fight. And here's the thing. People make judgments about your character, your energy, your vitality based on these visual cues within seconds of meeting you. The fix isn't expensive designer clothes. It's about intentionality. 3 well-fitting items beat 10 sloppy ones. A properly fitted shirt, clean shoes, and attention to grooming. That's it. When you show up like you matter, people start believing you do. Here's what most men get wrong. They think dressing well is about impressing others. It's not. It's about respecting yourself and the people around you enough to make an effort. When you put on clothes that fit properly, when you look in the mirror and see someone who's made an effort, something shifts in your psychology. You carry yourself differently. You feel more confident. And that confidence is what people actually notice. The ripple effect is powerful. When you dress with intention, you start making other choices with intention. You stand straighter. You speak with more authority. You engage with the world from a place of self-respect rather than self-neglect. This isn't about vanity. It's about dignity. But looking good is just the surface. The next mistake goes deeper. It's about the words coming out of your mouth. Mistake number 2. Programming people to see you as a tired old man. Every time you open a conversation with your latest ache, pain, or how tired you are, you're literally programming people to see you as declining. My back's killing me. I can't do what I used to. Getting old sucks. This becomes your brand. Women are naturally drawn to vitality and positive energy. When your default mode is medical complaints and fatigue reports, you're positioning yourself as someone in decline rather than someone with life force. Here's the psychological reality. People mirror the energy you project. If you constantly talk about how tired, achy, and worn down you are, others start seeing you through that lens. You become the guy with problems, not the guy with possibilities. This doesn't mean you have to pretend everything's perfect or lie about real health challenges. It means choosing what you lead with. Instead of opening conversations with your latest medical bulletin, try starting with something you're looking forward to, something that excited you recently, or something you're curious about. Your body might be older, but your spirit doesn't have to sound defeated. The energy you project in conversation becomes the energy people associate with you. And energy, not age, is what determines attraction. Start conversations with what you're learning, what you're planning, What caught your interest? Train people to see you as someone still engaged with life, not someone counting down the days. Speaking of spirit, the third mistake is even more deadly to attraction. Mistake number 3. Becoming a man without curiosity. Nothing kills attraction faster than a man who stopped learning, stopped exploring, stopped caring about the world around him. When you lose curiosity, you become predictable. And predictable, at our age, often means boring. Curiosity is the fountain of youth for the mind. A man who asks questions, tries new things, has opinions about current events. That man is alive. A man who's just going through the motions until his final day, that man is already dead. He just hasn't stopped breathing yet. A man without curiosity signals that life has nothing left to offer him. This creates an energy of mental stagnation that repels people who are still engaged with living. When you stop being curious about the world, you stop being interesting to be around. Conversation becomes stale because you have nothing new to contribute. You stop asking questions because you've decided you already know everything you need to know. You stop exploring because you've convinced yourself there's nothing left worth discovering. But here's what's really happening. You're not protecting yourself from disappointment or saving energy. You're slowly suffocating your own spirit. And that suffocation is visible to everyone around you. Curiosity at our age isn't about trying to be young again. It's about honoring the fact that as long as you're breathing, you're still becoming someone. The world is still changing, people are still creating, discoveries are still being made. Your perspective, informed by decades of experience, could offer unique insights, but only if you're still paying attention. Pick one new thing to learn this month. One book to read. One place to explore. One question to ask someone. Curiosity is magnetic at any age because it signals that life still has something to offer you. The beautiful thing about cultivating curiosity at our age is that we have the wisdom to ask better questions. We're not just curious about everything. We're selectively curious about things that matter. We can pursue interests without the pressure of having to monetize them or build careers around them. We can learn for the pure joy of learning. This selective curiosity becomes a form of luxury that younger people don't have. They're curious out of necessity. They need to figure out their careers, their relationships, their place in the world. We get to be curious out of choice. And that choice-driven curiosity is incredibly attractive because it shows someone who's still choosing to engage with life. But even curiosity won't save you if you're making mistake number 4. Mistake number 4. Letting your body become a liability. I'm not talking about having a perfect physique. I'm talking about basic stamina, energy, and physical presence. When you can't walk up a flight of stairs without huffing, when you're always choosing the closest parking spot, when you move like everything hurts, attraction dies. Physical fitness at our age isn't about looking like a 30-year-old. It's about moving with confidence, having energy for activities, and not being a burden. Women want partners, not patience. When basic physical activities become struggles, it signals dependency rather than partnership. People want companions who can share experiences, not someone they need to accommodate constantly. Your physical condition sends powerful signals about your vitality, your self-respect, and your future potential. When you let your body deteriorate through neglect, you're not just affecting your health, you're affecting how others perceive your life force. Start with walking 20 minutes a day. Do basic stretches. Lift something heavier than the remote control. Your body responds to effort at any age. The goal isn't perfection, it's vitality. Here's something most men don't realize. Physical fitness at our age has a compound effect on everything else. When you move better, you feel better. When you feel better, you think more clearly. When you think more clearly, you make better decisions. When you make better decisions, you build momentum. That momentum becomes attractive in itself. You don't need a gym membership or expensive equipment. You need consistency and gradual progression. The goal is to become someone who moves through the world with confidence rather than caution, with energy rather than exhaustion. That shift in how you inhabit your body changes how others perceive your entire presence. Physical energy matters, but there's something that kills attraction even faster. Mistake number 5. Using too late as your life motto. I'm too old to start that. It's too late for me to change. I missed my chance. These aren't statements of wisdom. They're attraction repellents. When too late becomes your default response to opportunity, you become a man without a future. People are attracted to potential, to possibility, to someone who believes their best moments might still be ahead. When you position yourself as someone whose story is essentially over, why would anyone want to be part of the ending? When you consistently position yourself as someone whose opportunities have passed, you radiate an energy of limitation. This makes others unconsciously associate you with endings rather than possibilities. The too late mentality is insidious because it feels like wisdom. It feels like being realistic about your limitations. But what it really is a form of self-imposed imprisonment. You're not protecting yourself from failure. You're guaranteeing that you'll never succeed at anything new. Every time you say, "it's too late," you're communicating that you've given up on growth, on change, on the possibility that tomorrow could be different from today. And that resignation is deeply unattractive because it signals that you've stopped believing in your own potential. Age gives you experience, perspective, and often more freedom than you've ever had before. These are advantages, not limitations, but only if you choose to see them that way. Replace too late with why not? Start something, learn something, become something new. Age is just the number of years you've been becoming who you are. It doesn't mean you stop becoming. But here's where many men really lose their appeal. Mistake number 6. Living in the rearview mirror. Back in my day, things were better when kids today don't understand. Every time you lead with how the past was superior, you're announcing that your best days are behind you. You become a man defined by what was, not what is or what could be. Nostalgia in small doses is charming. Constant living in the past is exhausting. It signals that you've given up on the present and have no investment in the future. Who wants to date a museum? Constant nostalgia signals that you've emotionally checked out of the present. It suggests you're more invested in what was than what could be, making you feel like someone stuck in time. When you constantly reference how much better things used to be, you're not sharing wisdom. You're expressing defeat. You're communicating that you believe the world has passed you by, that nothing good is happening now, that the future holds nothing worth anticipating. This backward focus doesn't just make you boring to be around, it makes you seem irrelevant. People want to connect with someone who's engaged with current reality, someone who can appreciate the present moment, someone who has thoughts about where things are heading. The past should inform your wisdom, not imprison your spirit. Your experiences should give you perspective on current events, not make you retreat from them. The stories you've lived through should make you a more interesting companion, not someone who can only talk about what's already over. Honor your past, but live in your present. Share your experiences as wisdom, not as proof that everything good is over. Be a man with stories and plans. The key is learning to use your past as a foundation, not a prison. Your experiences should give you perspective that helps you navigate current situations more effectively, not make you retreat from them entirely. When you can draw on your history to offer insight about present circumstances while still being engaged with what's happening now, you become invaluable. People are drawn to men who can say, "I've seen this before and here's what I learned," but who can also say, "I'm curious to see how this plays out," or "I'm excited to try this new approach." That combination of wisdom and engagement is irresistible because it offers both security and adventure. And the final mistake might be the most toxic of all. The 7th mistake is becoming a man powered by resentment. Bitter about politics, angry at how the world's changed, resentful toward younger people, negative about everything. This isn't wisdom. It's poison, and it drives everyone away. Bitterness ages you faster than time itself. It's written on your face, heard in your voice, felt in your presence. And here's the brutal truth. Nobody wants to sign up for a relationship with anger and complaint. Bitterness and negativity create an energy field that people instinctively want to escape. When you become someone who drains rather than energizes, you push away the very connections you need most. There's a difference between being discerning and being bitter, between having standards and being resentful, between being realistic and being negative. The difference is choice. What you choose to focus on, what you choose to talk about, what you choose to let affect your mood. When you become someone who primarily expresses frustration, disappointment, and anger, you become exhausting to be around. People start avoiding you not because they disagree with your views, but because your energy is draining. This doesn't mean you have to be fake or pretend everything is wonderful. It means being selective about what you give your mental and emotional energy to. It means choosing to focus on what you can control rather than what you can't. Guard your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Choose what you focus on. Choose what you talk about. Choose to be a man who adds light, not darkness. When you become selective about what you allow to affect your mood and your conversations, you become someone others want to be around. You become a source of perspective rather than a drain on energy. That shift makes you magnetic because people are naturally drawn to those who make them feel better about life, not worse. Gentlemen, attraction at our age isn't about turning back the clock. It's about showing up fully for the time we have left. Every one of these mistakes is a choice. You can choose to look intentional or sloppy. You can choose vitality or decline. You can choose curiosity or indifference. The question isn't whether you've made these mistakes. Most of us have. The question is what you're going to do about it starting today. Because here's what I know. The world needs strong, vital, attractive men at every age. Don't rob us of who you could still become. The transformation doesn't happen overnight, but it starts immediately. The moment you decide to dress with intention, speak with positivity, move with purpose, and engage with curiosity, you begin changing how the world sees you. More importantly, you begin changing how you see yourself. Remember, attraction at our age isn't about competing with younger men. It's about embodying the unique advantages that come with maturity, confidence, perspective, selectivity, and the freedom to be authentically yourself without apology. If this video opened your eyes to something you needed to hear, I want to know. Drop a comment telling me which mistake hit home the most. And if you know a man who needs to hear this message, maybe a friend, a brother, even your own father, share this video. Sometimes the most loving thing we can do is hold up a mirror. Subscribe for more real talk about living your best life after 50. Like this video if it gave you something to think about. And remember, gentlemen, your most attractive years might just be ahead of you. Don't waste them.